condition of the DNA in a prokaryotic cell. In a prokaryotic cell, we know there is no nuclear membrane. The entire contents of the DNA are actually scattered. But it is not so. Whatever the DNA is, they are also held together at a region which is known as nucleoid. What is nucleoid? In a prokaryotic cells, the DNA content is held together by protein. Here also the DNA are held together by a protein. And this region is known as nucleoid. Clear? Now after we have understood about the DNA structure, we also have to understand that there are RNAs. There are 3 types of RNA. 3 types of RNA. What are the 3 RNAs? The first one is messenger RNA. What is the function? It carries information. It carries information from DNA to the cytoplasm. Clear? Then there is the second type which is known as tRNA. tRNA is actually responsible for transferring. The full form of this T stands for transfer. So it is transfer RNA. It recognizes amino acids, binds with them and transfers the amino acids to the required place, that is to the ribosome. They take them to the ribosome where protein synthesis is going to take place. So tRNA, it transfers amino acids to rRNA for protein synthesis. It transfers amino acids and also identifies them. Clear? And the third part is the R, that is ribosomal RNA. This is the ribosomal RNA. Now this is the largest RNA, but we know very little about the structure of this RNA. Now what is mRNA? The structure, if you look, the DNA strand is somewhat like this, and these are the nucleotides, isn't it? Now the mRNA is formed from either one of the 2 strands of the DNA. Now the DNA has its code, that is a set 3 nucleotides which code for a certain amino acid. Now there are some regions which do not code. Maybe these three nucleotides, they are not coding any amino acid. So these parts, that is the coding part, suppose this is the coding part and this is the non-coding part, and again there is another coding part. So the non-coding parts are actually not required. They have to be eliminated. So what I mean, the coding part is known as the exons and the non-coding part is known as the introns. Non-coding. This is the coding part. Clear? Now what happens, with the help of certain enzymes like endonucleases, these parts are cut. That is, with the help of endonuclease, the coding and the non-coding are separated. So what is required? The coding part is present and the non-coding part is discarded. So we have only the coding, the amino acids which are going to, the nitrogenous base or the triplet which is going to code for certain amino acids are only kept. Now these are then ligase. With the help of ligase enzyme, they are all joined. So what is happening? We have now an entire sequence which is now joined. Now prior to this has to be done. Now the copy, you have to remember that when a copy is made, the A will now, since RNA is formed, so here if it was A, C and G, then the RNA sequence that is being formed will be U, G and C. This we have to always remember because thymine is not present in the RNA. So instead of thymine we have the U. Now the splicing has been done, that is it has been cut, then ligazing has been done. So this type of RNA which is now formed is known as heteronucleus RNA. Clear? And this is still unstable. It has to be made stable by capping and tailing. So what happens? There is a set of the nitrogenous bases on one side, that is guanine, and this portion is known as the cap and the other end is known as adenine cap. So there are series of adenines attached to it. So this is the tail end and this is the cap end. So ultimately after the capping and the tailing is done, what we get is mRNA. I am repeating, a DNA has two strands. One of the strands is chosen which is for coding. The RNA, the complementary has to be formed, that is the RNA. Now this RNA strand will definitely have some amino acids which are not required at all. So those are not amino acids, rather the nitrogenous base which are not required, which do not code for any amino acid, they have to be removed. So the ones which are coding are known as exons and ones which are not coding are known as introns. The introns have to be removed by the method of splicing. And here which enzyme is used? It is endonuclease. Once the introns have been removed, the exons have to be joined together by an enzyme called ligase and the process is known as ligazing. Now we get a heteronucleus RNA. Now this RNA is quite unstable. It has to be made stable by a capping process and a tailing process. In the capping, the one end there is attachment of guanine and on the other end there is a series of adenine which is known as the tail end. So in this way we get a mature RNA.